Good morning on this very warm morning. It's already in the 80s and it's only 10 o'clock. It's going to be a hot one. Hopefully, this is the last day that we have the hot ones. And then we go down to the 80s and then I see some 70s in my future and I am so excited about that. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Penny and you are at Open Hand Farm. We are a 1.5 acre farm with rabbits and chickens and gardens and try to do as much homestead type things as we can. I have not taken you out in the garden in a long time. It's not pretty. Weeds have taken over. It is so hot and dry. We have not had rain except for like 1/5 of an inch or something like that. So I'm hoping this cooler weather will help us be able to get out in the garden and do more work and prepare some things for in the spring. So first thing we're going to try to harvest is raspberries, but you can see that they're kind of dry looking also. We've got some, but it's definitely getting towards the end, although we have a lot of promise of new ones too. We do still have some really good bunches. I'm just not finding as much as I have been, but that's okay. We'll take what we can. My thorned berries are doing okay. I've got several big bunches of them, so we'll get them picked. Okay, it looks like we got maybe 3/4 of a pint of berries. Let's look at the cantaloupe now. Okay, this one, look. Something's eating holes in the bottom of them. I'm gonna take this one. I got one. We have several that still need to ripen, but our plant's beginning to look kind of sad. This plant has just been amazing. I will plant these again next year. My yarrow's blooming, that's pretty. I'm gonna trim some of this yarrow to take inside and dry for tea. I've learned that wild yarrow has more medicinal qualities, but this is what I have right now. I do have a friend that brought me some wild yarrow, so I planted it in a pot for now, and next year I will move it to the ground. I'm just gonna trim this one way back. Another thing that I want to trim back and dry are some raspberry leaves because they're really good for you. The rabbits also like them, and they're really good for rabbits who are pregnant and lactating and trying to get pregnant. So I'll start feeding some to my new female that I'm going to breed next month and kind of get her in her best health before I do. So the best leaves to harvest are the ones that are new and have not bloomed yet. So that's what I'm going to be looking for as I go through my raspberries. I have a whole section of those right here. This is a new cane. Now this one has berries on it, so I will not harvest that stem. But this is all new, so I will harvest it. Some more new ones that I found, and I'm just going to take the whole stem and then I will tie them together at the end and hang them to dry. And it's late enough in the season that I'm not worried about taking these. Okay, I got quite a few here, so I will take those in the house and tie them up and hang them to dry. I came around to the other side of the raspberries and found a lot more branches and decided that while I'm out here, I'm just gonna go ahead and clip everything that I can to do some herb drying. This is lemon thyme, and I'm just gonna give it a good haircut. I gave it a good haircut not too long ago, and it all came back with a vengeance, which I love. And this will come back next year in my zone. I am in zone 6B. All right, let's see, why not? Go for it. You're probably noticing the scratches on my hand. If you haven't, let me show you. I'll confess, I went to pick up one of my meat rabbits, and they're not pets, so they don't love to be picked up, but they're usually fine with it. But I apparently came from behind and really startled the one, and after I picked it up, her feet just started going crazy, and it just happened to be on top of my hand. So I am doing fine. It's not painful. It was at first, but I've actually been using calendula salve on it, and see how these are healed? Like, they're pretty much healed. They need to, you know, get not so red, but it's only been 3 days, and these were really deep scratches. It bled quite a bit. Calendula salve is amazing, and it'll help keep it from getting infected, which was my goal, to use the calendula, but it has done a great healing process. All right, this is just regular thyme, not lemon. So I'm getting a bunch of it. I have more of it down in the back garden, but I think I'll leave it for now. Oh, this smells so good. I wish you could smell it. Okay, now we're gonna move over to the oregano. Now, the oregano has some flower heads on it. I don't want to cut all of those off, so I'm gonna cut the ones that do not have the seeds on them, because I want those seeds to go ahead and drop so that it spreads for next year. So I'm just gonna grab these long ones that try to find the bottom of them. Some of these I will probably hang, and some of them I will dehydrate. I don't want to cut it so low that it doesn't have leaves left to get energy. Next year, I want to plant a lot of oregano. I want to be able to use it freely with my chickens because it's really good for them. It helps to ward off viruses and different things. Okay, that's where I'll stop. Here's some more yarrow, but I think I have plenty of it right now. Let's take a look at this lemon balm. I did take a lot of it in the spring, and it has come back so well. I want the longer pieces. This is great for tea. Oh, it's so good. If you've never had lemon balm tea, you need to try some. I am going to do some experimenting with different herbs put together to make different flavors of tea, and I'm kind of excited to do that, which is another reason why I wanted to clip some of these and dry them so that I have more items to work with in my blends. Let's get some lavender. I have clipped this about 4 times this year, and it just keeps coming back, and it's so nice. I have never been able to grow lavender. This is the first year I've had it, and I have to be honest, lavender has never been my favorite scent. Like, it kind of upsets my stomach when people wear lavender oils. But the scent of fresh lavender is amazing. Let's get some parsley while we're at it. Oh, you guys. Oh my goodness, I don't want to do this. Can you see what I found on my parsley? I didn't even notice until I was about to grab this bit. Do you see them? So I will leave these. I'm gonna move this one onto a new stem so that it can keep going. Make sure I don't have, oh, I do have more in here. Oh my goodness, you guys, they were hidden so well. Let me look very carefully at each one. Oh, there's one right there, little guy. Sorry, little guy. Here. Okay, let's see. None on there. None on there. Nope. And no. Okay, that I will leave because they need to eat that, not me. I'll have to show my granddaughter. She'll be so excited that we have more caterpillars. Okay, we're gonna open up this box. Let me step back so you can see the massive size of this plant. I have planted 8 to 10 zucchini plants this year and none of them worked. This one, oh my word. I have no idea why it's so big, but it is. Let's see what we have in there. I see a zucchini here that is yellowing, and that means it did not get pollinated properly. But do you see that one? I think that was a win. You guys, this is my first zucchini of the year, and it is almost October. Let's get it. That is beautiful. I can see some more female fruit down there, but their blooms have not opened yet. This one, I did pollinate this with a paintbrush, so I'm hoping that it will grow also. At this point, I will take what I can get. Here's another female right here. So, like I said, I will take what I can get. And I have had to cut leaves off because it's just too massive to be in here. I see one down here. Okay, I talked to you about that one. Here's another one that I think I pollinated that one too. All right, well, we'll see what it does. I have a very large rosemary plant in my greenhouse, and I started this plant from a clipping earlier in the spring, and I had tried clippings like this many times before and they never worked. I am so excited about this. Now I need to see if it's going to overwinter for me in my zone. So I'm gonna trim this one back and take it inside to use for something later. I had to come inside. As you can tell by the red in my face, it's a little hot out there. I asked Alexa what the temperature was, and she said it is 86 degrees, but that sun, oh, it's hot. But she also told me that tomorrow will be a high of 85 and chance of thunderstorms. You guys, that would be so amazing if we could get some thunderstorms. I'm gonna go ahead and tie up some of these raspberry leaves and get them ready to hang and dry them. Alrighty, I just have some twine and a pair of scissors. I forgot that I planted one of my new raspberries in that area because one had died last year and it has thorns, and I had forgotten that. So this one, I think I'll put all the thorn ones together so that after they dry, I don't just grab them not knowing what they are. Part of me wants to take these bottom leaves off so that I have a better stem to tie around. I made a decision, you guys. I'm going to take the leaves off at the very end so that I can tie them better, but they won't be wasted. I will take them and give them to my rabbit, and she will love it. Okay, that'll give me a better tying spot. Now you don't want this too full because you want airflow around them. So I'm gonna stop right there. And what I like to do to start with is to take the string and just make a U out of it and put it through there. Enclosing the tops, you might have to kind of adjust as you go. And then I pull really tight, and that helps hold it still while I tie it. So then I go back and I tie really tightly, because as these dry, the stems get smaller because they lose the puffiness. And that way they don't slip out of the rope while they continue drying. Then I will just take the two ends here and tie a knot over my finger to have as my hanging knot there. Now I can hang them like that. So there's one. All right, I'm just pulling the top leaves off and laying my stems together. Doesn't matter if they're the same size. No big deal. This one is kind of crazy. It's really full. If I see a dry leaf on there, I'm gonna pluck that off too. Or any leaves that are like brown or look like they have an issue, I'll pull those off. This one has a lot of bug holes in it, so I don't want to drink those or use them for whatever I'm going to use this for. Okay, we still got plenty there. Now, another good time to do this is in the spring when you're getting new growth, but I didn't want to do that because it meant I was using up my growth that was going to produce berries. And at this time of year, I don't mind it because we've had lots and lots of berries, and there's still lots of berries out there. So I don't mind cutting these off because some of these might not even fruit depending on when our first frost is. Remember to pull tightly. Made this one a little bit longer. You might want to make sure it's long enough to tie this top knot easily. All right, so I will continue doing that in a minute. Let's look at this mess. These are the lemon balm, and because these are smaller bunches, I am going to use a brown paper bag. I want to have airflow in this, so I'm going to use something with a pointed end. I'm using a thermometer, and just make some holes, and I'm putting it through both sides, and it might catch on the side flat too, which is fine, but that'll just help have airflow. Don't poke your fingers as you're going through there. Make sure they stay out of the way. And you can do it in the bottom of the bag too. That'll just help dry them faster and make sure they don't mold in there, because these do have moisture. They're wet and alive. So now I'm going to open that up, and those holes will help. Usually I hang things, let me show you, on this pole right here. I have some nails at the very top on the other side, and I hang things there to dry a lot. But these I am going to hang in the attic. I'm going to dry them all together because it's really easy to take the leaves off after you dry it. Also, the more you handle it, the more you're going to release those oils, and you want them to stay in there so that you will have them there for you when you want to make your tea or use it for however you're going to use it. So I'm just glancing at these before I put them in there and make sure there's no bugs on them or no bug-eaten leaves. So I don't want this too full. I just put about 3 little bunches in there. And now what I'm going to do is cut me a piece of twine. And I'm going to gather this up at the top. Again, I'm going to make my U. This is what you do when you only have 2 hands. It helps. And pull that tight. Then I don't even have to tie that. I can just go ahead and tie a knot in the top of my string, and I have a bag of lemon balm to dry. So I'm gonna make a couple more of these. Now I can also do this with my thyme or rosemary or lavender or any of those. Anything that is smaller that would be harder to tie on the ends, that's the way you can do that. I'm gonna go ahead and put my thyme in the dehydrator and do it there, but I just wanted to show you this method in case you don't have a dehydrator and you have things that are really too small to make into bundles. So I'm gonna keep working and then I'll show you where I'm gonna hang them. Okie doke, we're gonna go up to the attic to hang our raspberries and our lemon balm. It's gonna be hot. You won't feel it. Now this is where I have the goldenrod hanging off of these little lamp things here. But we have this wrought iron thing around this mirror on one of these walls. And so I hung the bags on that on the left side. I think I can hang the raspberries on the other side. Let's see if we can do this. If we just slip it over these little leaf shapes. Yep, I think that's gonna work. So I'll just hang the rest. Okay, we got them hung there. So the raspberries are on one side and the lemon balm is on the other side. Okay, so the rest of these I will put in the dehydrator and I will dehydrate them instead of hanging them in the attic. It's hot up there. But I'm really excited about our upcoming forecast. Let me show you a picture of it. So I'll be able to go out and do some work, clean up some things in the garden, and hopefully next Saturday we're going to do some tilling. And I haven't done tilled gardens like since I was a little girl. So we're gonna try tilling some areas, adding some compost, and doing some cover crop to prepare them for in the spring. Thanks so much for watching. I so appreciate you and all the new subscribers that I've gotten this month, and all those who are watching and commenting. You are all such a blessing to me. If you would like to help me even further, if you could give this video and all the videos that you watch of mine or anybody else's a thumbs up, that helps to fit us into the YouTube algorithm or whatever. I don't even pretend to understand it all, but apparently that's a good thing. So if you could do that, that would be awesome. And if you were new here today, thank you so much for dropping in, and please feel free to come back. We would love to have you. Until next time, blessings on you and yours.